Ever crave a mouthwatering cheeseburger but think it's too much hassle to make it home? Let me show you my go-to method for whipping up cheeseburgers that are perfect for a busy lifestyle. They're not only easy and quick to cook, but they taste better than most burgers you can buy. Let's get started. To start with, we're just going to start with some ground beef. This happens to be 80-20, and it's about 1.5 pounds, but you do what you want. The higher the fat, kind of you get a little more flavor. So I find 80-20 to be a pretty good balance. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to just break this up a bit. And for what it's worth, I like getting the packages that are like this versus a vacuum packed package. Do you see how this comes apart? It's not been pressed down, and so I can get that apart, and I'm being really gentle with it too, not to mash the meat down and kind of smash it, and it'll mix better. And I can't remember, there's other reasons, but that's how I was sort of taught to do this, is keep it loose. I'm just gonna kind of pre-crumble it just a bit here. I'm just gonna get it sort of loose. I just want to have it be one giant slab, I kind of want it to be broken up in little bits like that. Just so we're gonna get the salt and pepper on there. Okay, first I'm gonna wash my hands real fast. Okay, then now I'm gonna add a bit of kosher salt. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it here. A decent amount, but add some pepper. Now, plenty of people would add some other stuff to this, but I'm just going pretty simple here. And then now I'm going to do another, I'm going to kind of lifting underneath and going for the bottom, and you can see like this, and just kind of lifting it up. And I'm looking for bigger chunks now, breaking it down. Again, being gentle though, I'm not smashing. I want these to be really, I'm going to stick together, but not be like, I don't know, sort of look over-processed or be smashed all together. You'll see. Oops. You can see I've got a little protector for my wood cutting board. I don't like to get meat on it. I've got a plastic cutting board underneath it. If I did get some meat, I'll take it right off. Alright, so this is getting pretty good. Mostly I want the salt and the pepper distributed pretty well throughout. Alright. And I'm not really seeing too much of it anymore here. I'm not seeing any really big chunks. So I think we've got it pretty well. Because the next thing we're going to do is make patties, and the patties aren't super huge. So if there's some big area that doesn't have salt or pepper, then we're going to have some patties that really don't have much flavor at all. So, all right, let me see. Wash my hands one more time here. I'm just going to pick this guy up. All right. Okay, before we can really make the patties, while they're just sitting there for a minute, we're gonna make some little dividers for the patties, right? And so what I do is I roll out about that much parchment paper. It's about 3.5 of these squares. And I just slap that down. And this will give me 2. So I need, the fun part is guessing how many I'm going to need. But right now, I'm just make these. That's 6. I'm going to have at least 8 or 10, so. Okay, so I cut these out. Oops. I think I'm going to need one more egg. I got a lot of beef. Oops. Oh well. Then, a lot of times what we can do is, when they're like this, you can just sort of roll them into each other. Sort of stack them, but they'll roll up together. But as long as they're together like this, kitchen scissors, but it's the end of it, so I'm not going to worry. My kitchen scissors are dirty. It's alright, just cut them in half. And then now I have, I'm going to put these here. top of them. You put the pepper, right? Okay, for right now. Then, get out, I'm gonna do it this way. Let's do the scale. I want you to be able to see the scale, so do it like that, maybe. And I like to take, I can't really wash my scales like super well, so I take a piece of plastic wrap and sort of drape it over it. My meat. And then I'll take a plate like this, okay? And let's see what unit. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for ounces here. This does grams or ounces. I do anywhere from a 2 to 3 ounce. It kind of depends on what I have, how I'm feeling. Let's do 2.5 and just split it right down the middle. And I'll usually just sort of guess. 2.1. 2.2. This is probably pretty close. Let's call it that. Yeah, 2.3. I'm gonna give it just because I know it's little and I know I added one of these. I'm just gonna add one of these. Oh crap. I need to make the patty though. Okay, we need to set this up a little bit differently. I wasn't thinking ahead well enough with the video, but I'm gonna make these patties. Maybe I'll just make them into little balls right now. Just weigh them out. Dude, that's off. 2.5, 2.6, nice. Okay, so we won't need those parchment papers right away here. I do this a lot, but I don't video it. So, let's see, 2.5, here we go. Okay, so let me just make these real fast. Okay, so here's an option for you. A lot of people would take these and then make smash burgers. And I've done that and I can do that. Well, I'll probably do a video of it because they are good. I've got a Blackstone. But a couple of things. Today, it's just me. I really don't want to use the Blackstone. It's freezing cold outside. And I don't always do that this way. Sometimes I like to make, sort of basically pre-smash them, right? So, and they'll still work on the Blackstone if I want, but so what I do is I take one of my squares of parchment and I just mash it right here. And I just use my hands, to be honest. I feel like I get some good control over exactly where the meat goes, but I'm sure like I could use a smasher of some kind. The risk is it's gonna pick up some of the meat when it sticks, you know, one of the problems with smash burgers is they'll stick to the things that you smash them with. Okay, so I just get it really pretty flat. I kind of want it really, you know, I don't know, what is this? This is maybe in the US, this is, I'd say a quarter of an inch, no, not even a quarter of an inch, like 1/8 of an inch. And so about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And then once I get it where I want, I just move it onto that plate. Grab another paper and make a ball, right? So I just repeat that. And I'm sure some people don't put the pepper and salt in first. Some gonna wanna wait till later or whatever, but I've not had any problems doing this, but I could see that it's probably different and it'd be kind of fun to do a side by side. But so I just smash these out. I don't mind if it gets a little bit shaped like that because it's more sort of border and you're gonna get more crispy than if it was perfectly round, right? I mean, I don't want it to look like, I don't know, like all, you know, bizarre, but I still want it to fit under the bun when it's done. But, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of these and I'll probably speed it up or just cut to the chase here, cut to the end. Okay, now I've got my 10 patties all stacked up like this. This can do two things. If you have to make a lot of burgers, it's really nice to just, this is kind of how it is in a restaurant. You just sort of pick one up and slap it down. Usually they're separated by some kind of wax paper or parchment. So I could get a lot on the grill right away. The other thing I do, and what I'm doing with these is, I'm just gonna keep these in the fridge. I'm gonna put them in there right now anyway, so I'm gonna have burgers tonight, and I'm gonna eat them over the next few days. And I just take them out, and it makes it really quick to cook them then. So they're basically ready to go. So this way, I guess, is more convenient and fast. It's not necessarily tastier or anything like that. I want to give this just a little more. This stack is kind of high, and I have a little gap there, and it's probably fine for now, but I'll just get it nice and sealed. So I'm just gonna pop these guys in the fridge. And then I'll cook them up in a little bit. Gotta bake the buns first. Just gonna check those out. Yeah, I like onions on my cheeseburgers, so I'm gonna dice up some onion. It's just me, so I'm just gonna do maybe half or maybe even quarter of this onion, I think. Just gonna put half of this away for now. And just dice this up real quick. Alright, so this is how I like to dice onions. Cut it in half, length this way, whatever, pole to pole. And get all the stuff off of it. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do a quarter of this. I'm not gonna do half of it. Alright, now just do some thin cuts this way. And then just okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Bark, bark. Yep, the dog. Okay, time to make the cheeseburgers. First thing we're gonna do, I've got my bun, you see cut in half here. I like to toast the buns. You can toast them however you like, but I've got my flat square pan, non-stick pan here on the burner. It's on medium heat, and I'm just gonna butter up kind of 2 circles is how I usually do it here. I'll make 2, 1 in each corner. Kind of see it's getting a little okay. And that's looking pretty good. I'll just take one of the push it down in there and kind of spin it a little bit. I want it to soak up that butter. Push it down, kind of turn it. Alright. And I'll just leave it there for a bit. Just like a minute or so, maybe a minute. I kind of just feel it, but 45 seconds maybe, let's see. Okay, then after 45 seconds, a minute there, what I'll do is I usually just move them over a little bit. And really what we're doing is eventually going to move them sort of all the way around, but I'm trying to, the middle is usually hotter, so I'm making sure to kind of heat them more evenly. I think it feels about right here. Soak up some of that butter. Alright. And that's probably good enough. I'll kind of soak up this butter. And I believe that's probably good. There we go. Alright, really nice. I'll put that guy kind of a little towards the front. Put this guy in the back a little bit. Then, I'm sorry, I have to turn the fan on for this or we're going to be in big trouble. So I've got my burgers just off on the side here. I've got 2 of them, patties. I'm just gonna slap one down, slap the other one down, take these off, and then I use some hand sanitizer real quick and just, because I got a little bit of meat on my hands and we don't have long. These are gonna cook really fast. While that's cooking, I'm gonna take some mayonnaise. Spread it on the bottom there just a little bit. I like mayonnaise. Anything you want on your bottom bun, get it on now, basically. And I'm gonna do a little ketchup. A little bit on there. Move the pan a little bit so it heats just a little more evenly. Okay. And go ahead and butter this guy too. There you go. Okay, and this is getting to about where you want it to be. You really kind of want that wetness to be all the way through, and then ideally the edges kind of starting to dry, but it doesn't take long. And then, okay, for this last part, I'm turning the pan off. Right, it's just gonna cook the rest of the way like this. Then I'm gonna put my cheese on. I like American cheese on my cheeseburgers. You put whatever cheese you like. And then these will cook the rest of the way in just about a minute, and the cheese will melt down nicely. Bring that plate over here. You can see it, and then these guys, and sometimes I'll lay that on there. Right, and toppings and that, okay. You do you. Oops, we can turn that. Apologies, let's start over. Toppings, right, you do you. I like ketchup and onions. That's kind of my thing. It's just been a thing since I was a kid. So I do a bunch of ketchup. Do my onions. I like sauteed onions too. Sometimes I do both. But this is kind of quick, right? Put it on there. Put it on. And I'll do a few chips.
Add chips, fries, whatever you like. That's basically how I make my burgers when I'm busy, which is most of the time. If you got any value from this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Until next time, take care.